How's it going, everybody? I'm the big guy. Welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. I'm sorry if I sound a little different this week. Brand new setup. Getting used to it. Just got it for myself for Christmas, so getting into some new things, ladies and gentlemen, for the podcast. But the more things change, the more things stay the same. We're going to start off with the news this week, followed by your SmackDown and Raw reviews, followed by a review of New Year's Revolution 2006. Then, of course, your drink of the week, a little bit of holiday themed, followed by a reading from the Book of Rules. And then, of course, finally, we've got your Battle Droid of the week. So let's get into it right now of your news this week. Is WWE going back to the Thunderdome with the apparent COVID-19 crisis reaching a new head point because of the Omicron variant? While many sources say it's unlikely they will go back to the Thunderdome, as they believe many states will not institute that mandate, such as Florida and possibly Texas, because Texas has WrestleMania. They will probably, the talk is they will not institute any mandates. Everything will not go away in Texas and Florida, so probably going to be all right there. So we'll probably see fans still in attendance, but it may be in smaller arenas. AEW may go back to Jacksonville and may go back to Darby's Palace, where they would still be allowed to have fans like they did at Double or Nothing. Or was it All Out? I can't remember. I'm always wrong, so why not? So don't look for a return to the Thunderdome, even though they said some of their best work of the year was in the Thunderdome and not the Performance Center. The talk is fans will still be in attendance no matter what. And does WWE want to bring back a huge name for WrestleMania? That is the talk, as currently, behind the scenes, Fightful is reporting that WWE, I believe also WrestleVotes, has reported that WWE's creative team is working on ideas for Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 38. It is in Texas. He has been working it. He has been working the broadcasting. He has been working everything. All the commercials for WrestleMania have been going to Stone Cold Steve Austin. So it is very possible that Stone Cold will be a big part of WrestleMania. Maybe not as an in-ring person, but maybe as the host of WrestleMania is my thought. So we'll need to wait and see. And also, what else happened in the week? Oh yeah, Kevin Owens resigned. Yeah, Kevin Owens has re-signed with WWE. He's signed a 2 to 3 year deal worth $2.3 million per year. Apparently there is no release clause, but he is basically like all guaranteed for him. So that is very good. People are asking him why he resigned. He said that I made the best choice for me and my family, and I love WWE. So it looks like all those AEW rumors are going down the tubes, and Kevin Owens is happy to be back in WWE. Congratulations to him. I hope he is ready for a great career in WWE. Need a little bit of water, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of water. So let's get into your SmackDown review for this week. This week kicked off on SmackDown with a tag team match with Toni Storm and Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair and Shotzi. Both feel like they have been wronged by the other. Toni Storm feels like she was wronged by Charlotte Flair, and Shotzi feels like she was wronged by Sasha Banks. So a lot of interesting storylines going into this tag team match. Apparently, we will get another championship match for Toni Storm. Toni Storm will have another shot at the Women's SmackDown Tag Team for a Women's SmackDown Championship. I'm sorry, there's something in my throat real quick. Hey, idiot, why didn't you do this before the podcast? I don't know, idiot. It just felt like the right time to do it. Anyway, back to the podcast. So, they had a great match. It was actually a very good tag team match. Toni Storm would pin Charlotte to win the match, basically guaranteeing her another shot at the SmackDown Women's Championship. Sasha Banks would celebrate in the ring with Toni Storm. After this, we got a backstage segment in which Natalya was asked about Xia Li's new debut from last week. She said Xia Li is a nobody and she is And Natalya is the best of all time. She is a Guinness World Record holder. And if she sticks her nose in her business again, she will need her own protector. So it looks like we're setting up a Natalya versus Xia Li feud maybe for day one or a little down the road. So that would be a good way to start Xia Li in WWE on the main roster, I think. I think it could be a great feud for both of them. Really, Natalya is kind of reaching maybe the end of her career, maybe. I think she's still got a few more miles left. But if it is the end of her career, it's a great way to end it and start off a new face in WWE. After this, we got the Viking Raiders versus Jinder Mahal and Shanky. This was a very quick match. It's what you thought it would be. The Viking Raiders really just dominating over Jinder Mahal and Shanky. Viking Raiders hopefully looking like the Usos after they win at day one, maybe be the big challengers for maybe WrestleMania for the Usos SmackDown Championships. And then we got Drew McIntyre, who attacked Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss on Happy Talk. This was a segment, I don't know why they did it. It was coming from Chicago, and there were huge CM Punk chants. Big shout out to Pat McAfee for when they were doing the CM Punk chants. He was saying the chants were "We want love." Shout out to Pat McAfee for thinking on his feet, man. That was genius. That was so smart. It was right off the top of his head, and that's why I love Pat McAfee, man. He's just a genius. But Drew McIntyre would come out and the horrible Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin segment, and it was revealed later that we will get Madcap Moss versus Drew McIntyre at day one. After this, we got Paul Heyman waiting for the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns car to arrive for SmackDown. He would be waiting for a long time, and then the car would pull up, and Paul Heyman would go to answer a door, but it would be Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar would go. I guess Brock Lesnar is going to be on SmackDown every week now, so this is going to be fun. After this, we got Sami Zayn going in another backstage segment. A lot of backstage segments this week, not a lot of in-ring action. Sami Zayn would come out and would say that he is very pissed off that Brock Lesnar cost him the Universal Championship and he wants another shot at it. While Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce said, no, you're not getting that. Instead, you're going to be part of a 12 Days of Christmas gauntlet match where 12 people will have a shot at the Intercontinental Championship at day one. So looks like Sami Zayn's going to get another shot at the Intercontinental Championship. After this, we got Rich Holland versus Cesaro in a very good match. Rich Holland would win the match after you would get Sheamus on the outside, causing a little distraction. I thought that was cool. I thought Sheamus and Rich Holland are a great combination. Not just because they're both UK guys. They're both, not just because they're both UK guys, but because they both kind of have the similar type of brawl to them. They have the similar type of brawling character to them. That's what I like about it. That's why I like that combination. After this, we got Naomi calling out Sonya Deville for another match. Sonya Deville then came out and said as long as she's wearing a suit, Naomi can't touch her. And Sonya then said she has an opponent for Naomi. And Shayna Baszler came out. Shayna Baszler then attacked Naomi from behind. And Sonya told the referee to start the match. And shockingly, Naomi was able to pin Shayna Baszler very quickly. She was just, once the bell rang, roll up, 1, 2, 3. I feel so bad for Shayna Baszler because she's so much better than that. But I feel great for Naomi. Maybe we're starting to get to the end of the story. Maybe at day one, like on the Christmas Eve episode of SmackDown, we'll finally get the end of Naomi and Shayna and Sonya Deville finally saying we'll have a match at day one, and that will be the end of this feud. Hopefully, and then maybe Naomi could go do some stuff with the Bloodline. Maybe. After this, we got a build to day one match with the New Day versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Now, I get someone winning a match every now and then over a champion. Like, one time they win it over a champion just to build, like, okay, these guys are viable challengers. Like, you could see Otis and Chad Gable beating the RK Bro once, but this is... The New Day would win again after a very good tag team match. I mean, I've said before, and I'll say again, the chemistry between these two teams are unbelievable, and they have shown it a million times over, and it's one that I truly love. But eventually, you gotta have the Usos get over. Unless you're planning to take the titles off of them. And I don't think they should. I think the Bloodline should hold on to it till WrestleMania, and maybe they lose it at WrestleMania. But not yet. The Usos would be pinned in this match, and the New Day would pick up the win. Again, felt very sloppy to me for that match, but it still gets me hyped for day one. And then finally, we got the Universal Champion arriving. He looked at Paul Heyman, gave him a nod, and they walked out to the ring. He asked him, "Wise man, I'm going to ask you one time to acknowledge me with the truth. Did you know Brock Lesnar was going to be at SummerSlam? Did you know Brock Lesnar was going to be at Madison Square Garden? Did you know Brock Lesnar suspension was lifted? Wise man, one last time, I'm asking you, acknowledge me with the truth. Why are you protecting Brock Lesnar from me?" And Paul Heyman said, "My tribal chief, I am not protecting Brock Lesnar from you. I am protecting you from Brock Lesnar. And that is the truth." Roman Reigns then hugged him. He said, "I love you, wise man, and thank you for acknowledging me with the truth, and you're fired." And then he would Superman punch Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman would go down. Great segment. I can't believe they already broke up Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. I thought this would be a thing that would go on at least until Roman Reigns lost the Universal Championship to The Rock at WrestleMania 39, which is a talk. But the talk is now, I guess they're separated. Paul Heyman might go back with Brock Lesnar, but what I believe is going to happen is Paul Heyman is going to screw Brock Lesnar out of the Universal Championship at day one, and we are going to get a Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman revival here, kind of. He would try to hit Roman Reigns would actually try to hit a concerto on Paul Heyman. I guess a little thing he learned from his Money in the Bank opponent Edge, and Roman Reigns would, as he was going for the concerto, Roman Reigns would be stopped by Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar would hit an F5 on every member of the Bloodline, and that... Let me see. Did he hit a spear on him? Nope. So he would hit... I was trying to remember if Roman Reigns did get up and hit a spear on Brock, but he did not. Roman Reigns would then get up and leave the show. Brock Lesnar would be standing tall to end the show for this week's SmackDown. Very good SmackDown. The big con for me was the New Day pinning the Usos. I did not get that. I did not understand that. And I wish that the Usos had won that match. But very close. Very close. Very good SmackDown. It makes me excited for next week's SmackDown. And now we go into your Raw review from this evening. The big story is the Cutting Edge is back. The return of the Cutting Edge. That makes me so happy to say that, ladies and gentlemen. You do not know how happy I am to say that. Tonight's Raw kicked off with Bobby Lashley in the ring saying that MVP said if Bobby Lashley couldn't beat Big E, that MVP would have. And Bobby Lashley then staged a match between Big E and MVP. MVP would go to hit Big E with the cane.